Ever feel like you're spending more time juggling payroll deadlines, tracking who's in and out, and generally wrestling with employee admin than actually focusing on the people, the ones who make your business tick?
Oh, absolutely.
It can really feel like you're just wading through endless HR tasks sometimes.
Yeah, that feeling of being swamped by the routine HR stuff, it isn't just a feeling. It's a common reality that can seriously hold a company back,
Yeah.
efficiency-wise and strategically.
Well, in this deep dive, we're grabbing that HR paperwork, metaphorically speaking, and looking for a better way. We're diving into HR automation, and it gives a really detailed look at a specific platform that's designed to take those repetitive HR processes and, streamline them.
Exactly. And you can think of this as a shortcut, really, to understanding what's actually possible with these kinds of tools.
Yeah.
We've gone through the myburo specifics to pull out the key features and what impact they could have. So whether you're running a business, you're in HR, or maybe you're just curious about workplace tech, we'll give you the essentials without hopefully drowning you in jargon.
Okay, so who's actually behind myburo? The document says it's from Valicia Technologies PVT Ltd. They started back in 2009, and they're not just HR tech. They do software globally, AI, even IoT stuff.
That's interesting context.
Yeah, and it maps out their journey a bit. Started with a desktop app back in 2011, then moved to the web, launched this cloud system with payroll in 2019, and now, 2025, we're looking at their current setup.
That kind of evolution, it does speak volumes, doesn't it? It suggests they've been, adapting to tech changes and what businesses need.
Yeah.
Moving to the cloud, especially with payroll baked in, that's a pretty big step up in what they offer.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. Without a whole set of what they call core modules, seems like quite a broad range. You've got visitor management, which is obviously about who's coming and going, then employee time attendance tracking hours, employee payroll management, super critical, handling salaries.
Right, the fundamentals.
And also things like contract labor management, which seems vital if you use contractors. And an employee self-service login sounds like giving employees more direct access.
You've hit the main ones. And what's really noticeable is how they seem to integrate all these different HR bits into one place. Beyond those core things you mentioned, they also list employee training and employee help desk for internal Q&A, even tools for disciplinary actions and incident management.
Oh, and canteen management, too.
Canteen management, wow.
Yeah, it really suggests they're aiming for a kind of unified solution for a whole bunch of HR challenges.
Okay, let's zoom in on one of those employee time attendants, because let's face it, that's often a huge time sink. The features here seem to go way beyond just punching a clock digitally.
Yeah. They mention geolocation app attendance, so tracking attendance based on where someone is, I guess, and live biometric integration, which sounds pretty accurate, plus handling 247 shifts, multiple shifts, essential for some businesses.
Indeed. And the real power, I think, comes from how these features connect. Like the live attendance dashboard gives managers instant visibility. That's huge for managing resources, spotting issues quickly.
Right.
And the automated overtime calculations. Saves time, sure, but also cuts down the risk of payroll errors, which can be costly. And it's interesting they loop employee self-service in here too, letting employees handle some of their own attendance tasks. That increases transparency and cuts down HR's admin load.
And the list keeps going. Automated report scheduling frees up HR from running those manually all the time. The system can push out HR policies, notifications, even via WhatsApp. That seems quite direct.
Very modern approach.
It supports separate HR logins for different branches, crucial for bigger companies, and reporting. Daily, monthly, yearly, different formats. And importantly, it integrates with payroll. That should cut down errors from typing data across systems.
Exactly.
And of course, it handles holiday and leave management, outdoor duty tracking, gate pass approvals, even managing late arrivals, early leavers, and comp-offs. It paints a really comprehensive picture.
It's the level of detail and that focus on integration that's compelling. It's not just tracking time, it's making that data useful across HR. The WhatsApp thing, for example, shows they're using tools people already use to make communication better.
Okay, now let's switch gears to something everyone cares about: payroll management. This also looks incredibly packed with features. It handles both the old and new income tax rules, which is definitely relevant right now.
Very timely.
And they mentioned support for unlimited salary heads. That sounds flexible for different pay structures. Plus, formula-based calculations that should massively reduce human error in payroll, right?
Absolutely. That ability to handle unlimited salary heads is a big plus for companies with complex pay packages, commissions, bonuses, allowances, all that stuff, and using formulas. That's fundamental for accurate, consistent payroll. Minimizes mistakes, helps with compliance.
They also cover professional tax, different pay frequencies, daily, hourly, monthly, and all the key statutory bits like Provident Fund, PF, E6, and Labor Welfare Fund compliance. Seems like they've really tried to cover the regulatory bases.
Yeah, navigating payroll compliance is a huge headache for businesses. Having this built in is a significant advantage. It helps ensure you're following the rules, avoiding penalties, and the fact it mentions handling PF e-security reports with e-filing. That's a massive time saver.
And it gets even more granular. You can set up employee-specific salary rules, manage cost to company, CTC calculations, handle expense reimbursements, salary advances, arrears, even loans with EMI deductions and salary increments. It feels like it manages the whole financial side of employment.
It really seems to aim for that.
Plus, gratuity, bonus calculations, leave encashment, and it even links with employee asset management for final settlements when someone leaves.
That integration with asset management during offboarding, it's a smart touch. It shows how these HR processes are linked and how automation can smooth things out, even at the end of employment. And managing advances and loans within payroll simplifies what's often a clunky process.
Exactly. And on top of all that, it generates letters, has an informative dashboard, supports multiple salary structures in one company, and again, WhatsApp integration for notifications.
Covers a lot.
And the outputs seem just as thorough. Payslips, salary sheets, bank advice reports for payments, those crucial PFUTP reports with e-return capabilities we talked about, plus salary variance reports to spot issues, options for job, work-based pay, and email notifications too. Looks like a solid audit trail and reporting suite.
Robust reporting is vital, right? For financial analysis, making decisions, salary variance reports, for instance, help flag anything unusual, ensuring accuracy. And offering both WhatsApp and email notifications caters to how different people prefer to get info.
Okay, now let's shift focus a bit to the employees themselves. How does this tool empower them through that employee self-service login? What can they actually do?
The ESS portal, key part of modern HR tech.
Well, it says if they work remotely or in the field, they can use geolocation for attendance. They can see their own attendance records, access a calendar view, even see that live attendance dashboard.
Well, giving employees that direct access, it doesn't just cut HR's workload. It gives employees more ownership, more transparency. That's generally a good thing for morale.
Makes sense. They can also apply for leave, outdoor duty, gate passes, comp offs, and track the approvals all through this portal. Plus, view their own attendance reports, maybe their teams too. Access HR policies, holiday lists, and again, those WhatsApp notifications for important updates.
Yeah, reducing that back and forth with HR is a major efficiency win.
They can even see new joiners in their branch, submit their income tax declarations, make visitor requests, get birthday anniversary reminders, and the big one for many employees, download their own pay slips.
Allowing employees to self-serve for requests and accessing documents like policies or payslips, it just makes things run smoother, empowers them to find info quickly. And things like visitor requests, birthday notifications, they add to a more positive, connected workplace feel.
So beyond these core HR bits, myburo seems to have some more specialized modules too. Let's just quickly touch on a few to show the breadth here. There's employee training management,
Right.
features for sending invites, defining training programs, tracking who accepts, managing schedules, attendance, dashboards, reporting on training hours. The works.
And for companies serious about learning and development, a dedicated module like that is super valuable. It gives structure to planning, delivering, and tracking training. Make sure those investments pay off.
Then there's incident management for reporting workplace incidents, crime, fire, medical emergencies. Helps coordinate response teams, track headcounts in emergencies, gives you dashboards, reports.
Crucial for safety and security. Having a solid system to report, track, and analyze incidents helps identify risks, prevent future issues, and respond effectively when something does happen.
They also offer an employee help desk, so HR can answer employee questions, set up categories for queries, generate reports on resolution times, and employees can raise tickets from their ESS login, plus a dashboard for HR to manage it all.
A central help desk improves internal comms, right? Ensures questions get answered properly. And the reporting can show HR common issues, allowing them to be more proactive.
And for managing conduct, a disciplinary actions module sends notifications, lets you customize action types, generates reports, records actions taken, provides a dashboard for oversight.
A standardized approach there helps ensure fairness, consistency, and it likely helps with documentation and following due process.
Now, for businesses using contract labor, there's a whole set of specific features. Contractor registration, login portals, labor registration, maintaining blacklists, whitelists.
Which is important for managing contingent workers.
Exactly. Reports by contractor, department, costing, billing, compliance specific to contract labor, handling their shifts and overtime, even generating their pay slips and reports.
Managing a contingent workforce has unique challenges, especially around compliance and pay. So having features specifically for that shows they're thinking about diverse workforces.
Visitor management is another one. Employees can pre-approve visitors, manage access across locations, schedule appointments, log walk-ins, security gate interface, digital passes, reports, dashboard. And it mentions this links with incident management and canteen management.
Yeah, that integration is interesting. Linking visitor management to security and even facility stuff like the canteen shows a kind of holistic approach to running the workplace. Streamlines the visitor side, enhances security, maybe gives data on facility use too.
And finally, that canteen management module. Setting food timings, managing vendors and menus, daily auto counts for planning, biometric integration for access or payment, monthly billing, linking subsidies to payroll, analysis reports, and a live dashboard for vendors and HR.
For places with their own canteen, this could really boost efficiency, control costs, maybe even make employees happier by streamlining the whole meal process and handling subsidies properly.
So yeah, it's pretty clear myburo is aiming to be, well, a very comprehensive solution. Now, how does it scale? And what about cost? The document shows 3 versions: basic, professional, and enterprise.
Standard sauce model, yeah.
All 3 seem to have the core time attendance and basic payroll. Then professional and enterprise unlock more advanced stuff, with enterprise basically including everything we've just talked about.
And offering tiers lets businesses pick what fits now, budget-wise and needs-wise, but with an option to grow into more features later.
Right. Leads us perfectly into the return on investment, the ROI argument they make in the document. They put together a calculation for a hypothetical 100-employee company.
Okay, let's hear it.
They estimate about 300 man-hours a year, just on payroll processing, HR, and accounts time. They value this, based on salary costs, at $180,000. Then they add $25,000 for existing IT stuff and maybe other software licenses, and then a fairly chunky euro 60,000 in estimated losses from things like lost time due to lateness, discipline issues, manual errors.
Those are real costs, things businesses often don't fully quantify. The time on repetitive tasks, cost of juggling different systems, the financial hit from inefficiencies, it all adds up.
So adding those up, they calculate a total yearly loss of $270,000 for this hypothetical company. They then compare that to the annual cost of the myburo enterprise version, which they put at $93,000, the difference. A projected total saving of $177,000 per year.
Wow, that's significant.
It is.
And even though it's hypothetical, that kind of ROI analysis gives businesses a useful way to think about the financial upside of automation. Quantifying the costs of doing things manually really highlights the potential savings and productivity gains.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this. Our deep dive into the myburo tool shows a platform that really wants to be a central hub for, well, a huge range of HR stuff.
Very broad spectrum.
From basics like attendance and payroll, right through to specialized things like training, incident management, contract labor, even the canteen. It seems incredibly comprehensive, and that ROI calculation, it definitely makes a strong case for saving time and money.
Precisely. For any business owner, any HR pro feeling buried under admin, myburo, or tools like it, offer a potential path to streamline things, cut errors, and free up time for, more strategic work.
So for you listening, if you've been looking for ways to simplify HR, cut down on the admin burden, and just make things run more efficiently, exploring comprehensive HR automation tools like this could be a really valuable exercise.
And that brings up a really interesting final thought, doesn't it? As tech keeps automating more of these routine tasks, how does the strategic role of HR change?
That's a great question.
With less time spent on manual paperwork, what new doors open up? Opportunities maybe to focus more deeply on employee engagement, talent development, building a better company culture. It's definitely something to ponder as the future of work unfolds.